Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Insane Med. This is Suprita. I'm a medical student in BGS Medical College, Bangalore, India. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a very important topic that a lot of you messaged me about, a lot of you asked me in the comment section below, and that is when should you be joining or taking coaching for NEET PG or Next PG. I'm going to be talking about this topic under various headings. I have provided the timestamps in the description below, so feel free to skip to whatever section that you want to watch. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm pretty sure that most of you already know the various institutes that are available for NEET PG coaching, but for those of you who don't know, I'm going to start by outlining the two major types of classes that are usually available for NEET PG. The first one is going to be your live classes or satellite classes. For example, there are institutes like DAMS and DBMCI which provide live classes or satellite classes where you physically go to a center where they are going to teach you the particular subject or the particular topic, and these classes run for like very long periods. And what I mean by that is these classes usually are run for a minimum of 4 to 6 hours, and sometimes they can even extend up to 12 hours. I have seen some of my friends go to these coaching classes from like 8 in the morning until 8 in the evening for 12 hours, even on Saturdays and Sundays. So these are one set of classes. The other set of classes that is available for NEET PG is recorded classes that is provided by apps like Marrow, PrepLadder or eGurukul by Bhatia. Now these classes are going to be fully recorded. They are going to give you a set of recorded videos that you can watch whenever you want to, and usually the videos explain everything in detail, and you will also be provided access to things like question banks, weekly tests and grand tests and stuff like that under these apps. Now let's do a quick comparison between both of these type of classes, because even before you decide about when you want to join these coaching classes, it's very necessary to understand whether you really need coaching, and if you do, what type of coaching should you choose. So I'm going to list out the features of both of these types of classes side by side so that it's going to help you guys understand. First of all, if you think about live classes, as the name suggests, the classes are going to be live. You will have to physically go to these classes, sit there for hours just like college and learn stuff. And usually these classes are going to be on Saturdays and Sundays, and they will usually run for 8 to 10 hours. So you might end up losing your weekends. If you come to these coaching apps that are available, here all the videos are going to be recorded and they're going to be provided to you all at once, and you can use these or watch these videos whenever you want to. Now comes the second and most important point is what type of a reader are you? Now what I mean by this is that there are some people who can read on their own and don't need any compulsion, but there are another set of people who need compulsion or who need some sort of external force to get motivated to study. Why I'm bringing this up here is because if you are taking an app like Marrow, PrepLadder or eGurukul, you will have to be responsible for your motivation. You will have to be responsible for completing all the videos on time and making sure that you are covering everything, taking the tests on your own. If you go to live classes, there's going to be a set schedule. Here you don't have to worry about when to finish what chapters or when you should be taking your tests or when you should be taking your grand test, because all of this is going to be fixed by DBMCI or DAMS itself, so you don't need to worry about that. So you need to decide what type of a person you are. Will you be able to motivate yourself? Will you be able to discipline yourself and complete everything on your own? Or do you need somebody to motivate you? Do you need somebody to put down a schedule for you? Based on that, you will have to decide whether you want to go to live classes or you want to take apps. The third point of difference is the amount of information that is covered in each of these classes. If you think about live classes, Here what they're going to do is they're not going to explain everything in detail. All the things that is being taught to you, they assume that you already know the basics, they assume that you already have studied all these stuff, and so they're only going to cover the relevant information that is necessary or what will be tested in your NEET PG. They will not explain stuff to you in detail. If you come to the apps that are going to provide you recorded videos, here most of the videos are going to be in detail. They're going to explain all the concepts in great detail. So if you want to understand basic concepts, if you want to understand basic stuff, then these apps are going to be pretty useful. So now that you know what type of coaching you want to join, the next question is going to be, when should you join these coaching institutes? For that, let's consider two situations. The first situation is going to be if you're going to have your next PG exam after your 4th year or after your internship, like our batch and our 2 junior batches is supposed to have. That is the first situation. And the second situation is if you're going to have your next PG after your 2nd year, because I know NMC has given out a new guideline which is saying that maybe they will do the next exam just after your 2nd year. So let's look at both of these situations and see when you should consider taking coaching. In the first situation, if you have your next PG after your 4th year or after your internship, then I strongly believe that there is no role for any coaching institute in 1st and 2nd year of MBBS. Because for example, if you end up taking live classes, then as I have already told you guys, they're not going to cover any of the basics. They are just going to be highly focused on coaching you for the PG exam. So you will technically not understand anything if you already don't know the subject. So live classes are out of the question. There are people who say that apps like Mado, eGurukul or Prep Ladder can be useful in 1st and 2nd year as well, because it can help you understand the concepts well, because they're going to explain everything in detail from the basics. I do agree with all of these stuff, but rather than this, I would personally recommend to read standard textbooks. I read so many standard textbooks in 1st year like Guyton and Grey's Anatomy and Robbins in 2nd year, because this is the time you will have a lot of opportunity and a lot of time to utilize to read these standard textbooks. Because once you get into clinical years like 3rd and 4th year, even if you want to read these standard textbooks, you will not have time. Directly in 1st and 2nd year, if you end up relying on these coaching institutes and coaching apps, you will not have the chance to read these standard textbooks. Coming to the second situation, where if you end up having your next exam just after 2nd year, which NMC recently released a circular saying that the new batch, that is the 2022 batch, might have your next exam just after 2nd year, then you might want to consider joining any of these coaching classes in 1st or 2nd year, because I do believe that for a competitive exam, you will need some amount of guidance. Because if it is just reading for your board exams or your theory exams, then we can read from the textbook. You can write theory, but if it is a competitive exam, you will need some amount of focus and some amount of guidance. Even if you don't need the videos, you will at least need the question banks, the grand tests and the weekly tests that they provide, which is going to be super useful for competitive exams. So if NMC unfortunately ends up introducing next right after your 2nd year, then I would recommend you guys to look for coaching in 1st and 2nd year. In conclusion, I think you guys should think about what type of coaching institute you want to take up, and then think about when is the right time for you to take these coaching classes, if at all needed. I think I tried to cover everything that I wanted to do in this video. If you guys still have any questions or any other queries, please do let me know in the comment section below. I will definitely try to respond to them. And if you can, please do share it with your friends and hit the like button and subscribe, because it helps YouTube's algorithm to push my videos to more people who need them. So thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.